Welcome one and all to 52 weeks of Green Lantern. This week, week 22, we're talking about Green Lantern New Guardians number 5. This is one of those issues where I can't really praise it. I really don't have anything to tear it down about either. So I guess I'm going to go over the plot a little bit. Basically what happens is, in the end of last issue, we found this orbiting group of ships the size of planets. Something had come and gathered them together. Whatever that was also responsible for rings from all different corps flying away and going to Kyle Rayner. We start to go into these ships and we find out that they actually have entire planets inside of them. And by we, I mean the New Guardians. Even the book puts them in quotes, probably because only one person has called them that. With the exception of Bleeze, who has gone off to have her brain put back in, basically. If you watch Red Lantern, if you read Red Lanterns or watch my show, you basically know what I'm talking about. Anyway, at this point, the remaining New Guardians split into 3 groups of 2 and go into the different planets. We find Okara, which is where supposedly Larfleeze is, so either these people are lying, either lying or mistaken about where they are, or these planets have been duplicated and something left in their wake. And there's also Tamaran, where Starfire is from. This was a red flag for me in and of itself, and I hope the writers of New Guardians are smart enough to realize this. Ever since the New 52, Tamaran has become a place where people have rampant sex with anyone they meet and can't tell humans apart and don't bother to remember people's names. Whether this is going to be more toward a traditional Tamaran or whether it's going to embrace the new DCNU or whether it's going to try to sidestep this completely like it kind of does in this issue is a question we'll see in the future. But as of right now, I'm wary. I am very, very wary of Tamaran being in here. The other planet we see is Okara, the planet that Larfleeze owns, for lack of a better word. And speaking of Larfleeze, here's where we get into the conflict. Because whatever is going on, Larfleeze is these people's enemy. Not on Tamaran, but on Okara, there is a statue of Larfleeze referred to as the Beast. And there is a being called an Archangel. Whether or not he's an established character, I'm not 100% sure. He had a name, but I would have to go back into the comic to remember it. It might have been Invictus. So, this Archangel has been summoned because... what's his name? I can never remember that piece of... the little... was it It might be Glomulus. I think it's Glomulus. Because Glomulus has come with, the Orange Lantern Corps, aka Larfleeze's symbol on him. So they summon this being to fight them. So either we're going to have an epic brawl again in the next issue, or we're going to sit down and talk like civilized people about why all these planets have been brought together, why all these rings have been brought together and are now destroyed, and how Larfleeze ties into all of this. Bleeze eventually is probably going to come back, with a brain. Or we're going to get some other representative of the Red Lantern Corps, which is not an impression anything has given me yet, but I wouldn't discount it as a possibility. Altogether, there's only so much I can comment on. In terms of the quality of this issue, it's basically continuing things on. I have given more opinions than I really thought. Well, okay, I had one opinion and I gave it. Hope this episode wasn't a complete waste of your time. I'll see you guys next week for week 23 when we get back to Red Lanterns number 6.